Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. This is the first time we are coming to you with the production first for social media before it gets on television, if it gets on television. Now, we are coming to you because tomorrow there will be constitutional fireworks in Parliament, and that is guaranteed. Everybody knows that, and everyone is expecting that because it has to do with the approval or lack of approval of the budget. By the time we come on television tomorrow at 9 p.m. on GG, the constitutional fireworks, the gymnastics, the logarithms that will occur in Parliament would have ended, and we would have missed the opportunity to have our say on two important matters that will animate tomorrow's parliamentary constitutional brouhaha. And one of them is that whatever happened in Parliament last Friday, led by the Speaker, the Right Honorable Alban Bagbin, whatever happened in Parliament last Friday led by him was a manifest illegality. It was wrong and it never should have happened. It's unconstitutional, it violates clauses of the Constitution, and we're going to be telling you why. And after that, we will lead you into what to expect in Parliament tomorrow. What to expect in Parliament tomorrow. The various legal interpretations that are going to come up, we'll walk you through all of them and you can make your decision. This is an exclusive editorial video, first for social media on Good Evening Ghana. Here's the montage. So the story is about Alban Bagbin, the very distinguished 28-year experience in Parliament, as he himself said on Thursday, the distinguished Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin. The story is about him because Mr. Bagbin conducted a parliamentary process on Friday. It was a big event, big day in Parliament. It was about the approval, or shall I say, the conclusion of the debate about the Parliament, the conclusion of the debate about the budget, leading to the votes to be cast. And Alban Sumanu Kingsford Bagbin conducted the votes. In the process, the majority walked out at some point. The majority walked out because the Speaker requested that members who were not, at the time he was putting a question, the Speaker requested that members who were not original members of Parliament in the House, referring to ministers and deputy ministers, should vacate the House. The majority was concerned about it because Ken-Ofori-Atta, the Minister of Finance, and Ken is here, isn't it? Ken-Ofori-Atta, the Minister of Finance, was in the chamber, and he is the owner of the budget. He is the repository of the budget. He was seeing his budget through. He happens not to be a member of Parliament, and Ken was asked to walk out of the chamber. The Speaker insisted, and then majority members felt that if Ken-Ofori-Atta should go out, the one who read the budget, the one who is holding the budget, the one who wants to see the debate through, the one who needs to see the debate through, if he should go out because a vote was about to be cast, then they felt Johnson Asiedu Katia, the General Secretary of the NDC, who sat in the public gallery, should also go out. And that's where the confusion occurred, and the majority walked out, or if you like, the MPP side walked out of the House. After that, Speaker Bagbin, who wanted to continue with the process, decided that he will conduct a head count. Now let's listen to the head count and see how many persons were recorded in the head count.
Because there have been a walkout, I want a head count so that we get to know the number in the House and whether we satisfy the constitutional requirement of taking a decision, which we know the quorum of the House to take a decision. Quorum of the House. Please, table office, do the counting. Honorable members, we may now resume your seats. The results. 137.
So you heard that, 137. After the MPP walked out, they got 137 people in the chamber representing the National Democratic Congress. And that's reflected here on our touch screen. So you have 137 on the right for the National Democratic Congress and 137 for the New Patriotic Party. If I flip it one more, you will see now that whilst NDC remains 137, we have made the other group 138. Now 138 because there was an independent candidate who used to be an MPP member. He ran as independent candidate, and then he won his seat, and he decides to sit with the MPP. He's now the second deputy speaker. It's important I mention his second deputy speaker because it's important for the analysis for the fireworks to occur in Parliament tomorrow. So here you are, 138 and 137. Now let's get back to the story. And now we're going to tell you why Speaker Bagbin was manifestly, legally and constitutionally totally wrong, totally out of order in terms of the legal procedure, in terms of compliance to the legal procedure, in terms of compliance to the Constitution, in terms of compliance to the standing orders of Parliament. The Right Honourable Speaker, respectfully, was blatantly wrong. Okay, now let's begin here because we're taking you on a journey of the key constitutional articles that have to do with Parliament. This is quorum in Parliament. Article 102. It says, a quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of all members of Parliament. Now, let's not stop there. That's what it says. It says a quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding. So, the person presiding is not counted. And when he's not counted, the rest that have to be there before the Parliament can proceed with business is 1/3 of 275. That's not so important for today. So, we are skipping the calculation. Where it's important, we'll show you the calculation on the calculator. Let's move on quickly. Okay. Voting in Parliament. Now, this is the critical one. Article 104. It says, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting, with at least half of all the members of Parliament present. This is very important. This was the one that was violated by the Right Honourable Speaker and the other members of the House on that famous Friday occasion when they purported to put a question for the budget and then they purported to reject it. So it was total illegality. This is the reason why it was illegal. 104 says, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, it's not provided anywhere else. So this is the only one we deal with. Matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of majority of members present. So the majority of members present could be any number, but those who are present and vote. So some may be present, they will not vote. But those who vote, the majority of that passes the determination of any question that Parliament is looking at. But it says, with at least 1/2 of all the members of Parliament present in the House. Now, what is half of the members of Parliament? 275 divided by half. We're going to look at it. We had the head count. The head count from Speaker Bagbin said 137. That's what the head count said. So we know the figure that was available after the walkout. 137. The Constitution said at least half of all the members of Parliament should be present before matters of Parliament are determined. Let's move on. It continues. It said, the Speaker shall have neither an original vote nor a casting vote. It means the Speaker of Parliament cannot vote. Okay. Number 3 says, where the votes of any motion are equal, it shall be taken to be lost. So this is very important. The last one, where the votes of any motion are equal, it shall be taken to be lost. So if you look at the 137, anytime there's a vote in Parliament that's 137, that motion shall be taken to have been lost. Okay, so, and it says the Speaker shall not have an original vote. And then it says that when Parliament is voting, you need at least 1/2 of them. Let's go to the standing orders of Parliament. So here are the standing orders of Parliament. Standing Order 109. And it has repeated what is in Article 104. It says, no question for decision in the House shall be proposed for determination unless there are present in the House not less than 1/2 of all the members of the House, and except as otherwise provided in the Constitution, the question proposed shall be determined by the majority of the votes of the members present and voting. So both Standing Order 109 and 104 of the Constitution talk about 1/2 being the number that should be in the House before the Speaker can put the question. What we are saying is that when Speaker Bagbin put the question on Friday, whether or not Parliament approves the appropriation bill that has been presented by the Finance Minister, when he put that question, his own head count said he had 137. Now we're going to look at 137 as a fraction of 275 and make a determination whether that satisfies Article 104 and 109 as 1/2 of all the members of parliament. We'll do that calculation in a minute. Okay, but let's finish with the standing orders. The speaker shall have neither an original nor casting vote, and if upon any question before the House the votes are equally divided, the motion shall be lost. A deputy speaker or any other member presiding shall not retain his original vote while presiding. This is the standing order 109. Now, if you want to look at the authority and strength of laws, we have to remember that in the 1992 Constitution, which is the fundamental law of the land, which everyone must obey, that one talks about one half and talks about the speaker. It doesn't talk about the deputy speaker, but the standing orders talk about the deputy speaker. So we'll show you that. Okay, let's go to the calculator now. Let's go to the calculator and look at 275 divided by 2. What is it? So you saw the calculation. So the answer to the question, when the Constitution says one half of 275, is looking for 137 and a half. Okay, let's deal with it. So here's 137 MPP, 137 NDC. It means that either party with 137 is unable to qualify for the Article 104 consideration before the speaker puts the question. It means whenever the speaker wants to put the question, he has to be sure that the members of the House, the members in the House, are more than 137. 137 and a half is the correct answer. But of course, when we do mathematics, we run up human beings to the whole. So we are talking about 138 really. Well, forget about that. If you want us to argue mathematically and say we are talking about 137 and a half, no problem. If the number required is 137 and a half, then it means 137 is wholly wrong and 138 is wholly correct. That's what it means. The Constitution says half of 275. That's 137 and a half. It means that on Friday, when the Right Honorable Speaker Bagbin had 137 in the House, and he put the question, he was totally wrong, because 137 and a half is lower than 137 of NDC members is lower than 137 and a half. The only number that can allow the speaker to put the question is 138. So the question, two questions the speaker put on that occasion, after having the head count, constructing and conducting the head count, and finding out that he had come to a conclusion of 137, the speaker should have ceased the business, because with 137, he ought not to have put the question. You can't put the question in Parliament under the Constitution that we have approved for ourselves as a people since 1992. It says that you always need this. Well, we are coming to this junction because of the controversial elections of 2000, the parliamentary elections especially, which drew up this 137, 137. The election that drew up 137, 137 is the reason why we are here, but that's okay. Now, what the speaker did on Friday was blatantly wrong. I think you can agree with me on that, can't you? What he did was manifestly wrong. He violated the Constitution. It was totally illegal. So when the head count came in, and the head count said we have 137, Speaker should have gone to the Constitution to see. And the standing orders, which he says that he knows very well. He said he had been doing this for 26 years. He's very familiar. He has sufficient acquaintance with the standing orders. He made all sorts of statements. In that same standing orders, Mr. Speaker, it said that you need one half of the members of the House. You have 275 people. One half of it is 137 and a half. You had less than that. You had 137. Then you proceeded to put the question and purported to have rejected the budget. That's not correct. That's illegal. That's unfair. That's not true constitutional democracy. Whilst we believe that what happened on Friday and what's going to happen tomorrow is a showcase of an African democracy that is joy-joying instead of war-warring, we think that's a good advert for Ghana's democracy. But we shouldn't perpetrate illegality. Mr. Speaker, this was manifestly wrong. It should never have happened. So the correct way in which Parliament can conduct business is a quorum of 1/3. The correct way in which a question can be put for the determination of Parliament is that you have 138 members in the House. So what we expect to see in Parliament tomorrow is that at the beginning of the sitting tomorrow morning, the leadership of the majority is going to raise an issue with the Speaker. Now, the beautiful thing is that we understand that the Right Honourable Speaker Bagbin has travelled outside the country. So what's going to happen tomorrow is that Joe Osei-Owusu is going to be in the chair. When Joe Osei-Owusu is in the chair, is he counted or is he not counted? That's where the legal opinion is divided. That's where the fireworks will begin in Parliament tomorrow. Whether when Joe Osei-Owusu mounts the chair tomorrow as a member of Parliament with the constituency, whether when he sits in the chair tomorrow, he is not part of the House anymore. When you are counting whether he is not, well, legal opinion is divided. Some people believe that a deputy speaker who has a constituency, is a member of Parliament for a certain group of people, if he's occupying the chair because the speaker is not there, he is still considered to be a member of Parliament with all the entitlements that a member of Parliament has, including voting and including counting. So when the Constitution says that 138 is what you need, when the Constitution says you need 138, one half, that's what it says. It says here that matters in Parliament shall be determined by a vote of the majority of members present and voting, with at least one half of them present. Now, when the Constitution says that one half of the members of Parliament present, it includes Joe Osei-Owusu, the one who is going to preside tomorrow. He's part of the members of Parliament. So he is counted, or he ought to be counted as part of the members present. If the MPP can marshal all their numbers, they will have a clear 138 with Joe Osei-Owusu presiding. Now, this question has come up because people are asking, what if tomorrow comes and the NDC says, okay, on Friday you guys walked out and now you are making a legal argument that once you walked out, we didn't have the numbers to put the question because we were 137. You too, you are 137. We're going to walk out right now with people anticipate that tomorrow. We're going to walk out right now. Let's see what happens. Now, if they do walk out in that circumstance, the MPP have all their 138 members there, the fact that Joe Osei-Owusu goes to mount the seat is the opinion of some lawyers that it doesn't matter, because the Constitution says that the number here is the half of the members of Parliament, and that when this count is being done, every member of Parliament who is present is counted. If the Deputy Speaker is a member of Parliament, unlike the Speaker who is not a member of Parliament, who cannot be a member of Parliament, I'm sure some people don't know, but if on the voting of the Speaker, a certain member of Parliament who has just won his seat is elected Speaker, that seat becomes vacant, we go to a by-election. So the Constitution never intended for the Speaker to be a member of Parliament. The Speaker, in other jurisdictions, he could be in America, in Britain and all that. But here, our 1992 Constitution is clear. The Speaker, the number one, the Speaker qua Speaker, as they say, he himself cannot be a member of Parliament. Even if he's a member of Parliament, upon becoming Speaker on the 9th of January, his seat automatically becomes vacant. There will be a by-election. But the deputy ministers, first deputy and second deputy, are members of Parliament. They are allowed to be members of Parliament. When they are elected, their seat doesn't become vacant. They continue to represent their constituency. Therefore, the legal opinion here, which is supported by many, is that this provision of the Constitution, that with at least half of all the members of Parliament sitting would include the Deputy Speaker, even if he's sitting in the chair and conducting affairs as Speaker. Now, these are the things that are going to create the raving and ranting in Parliament tomorrow that we are highly anticipating, because the MPP are going to come in and first of all, they are going to seek to annul the things that happened on Friday, because that was an illegality. We've already done that. A total illegality. Speaker Bagbin should never have done that. For his stature, it's quite unfortunate, because he's a man of stature. He said that he had done 28 years in Parliament, which he truly has done. So for somebody who is so experienced in parliamentary procedure and so experienced in the standing orders, it is shocking that it completely escaped him. Not just that, but the minority, the Haruna Idrisu, great lawyer, Dominic Ayini, former Deputy Attorney General, they were all in the chamber. How it escaped all of them that we actually don't have the numbers to put the question. They had the numbers to conduct affairs of Parliament, but they didn't have the numbers to make a determination. This is what it says. It says matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of so and so and so. This is not about quorum. This is not about forming a quorum. You can form a quorum. But when you are determining a matter in Parliament, you need this. So somehow it escaped all of them. The MPP are going to start tomorrow by saying that, look, this was an illegality. It should never have happened. After that, the NDC may say that, okay, fair enough, Friday was an illegality. Now what do you want to do? You want to put a question for the budget whether we should approve or not? Hey, we walk out. And they are anticipating that 137 of them walk out means that the question cannot be put. But as we're saying, that may not be true. If the NPP have all 138, the question will be put. What about the voting? There's also concern that when a person sits as speaker, he cannot vote, etc. I'm sure all these matters will be determined. We're just giving you this so that you can anticipate what will happen tomorrow morning. Tomorrow evening, we'll be back on television to deal with it. This is our two-persuasive opinion to help you understand everything that has been happening in Parliament. Thank you for watching. It's our first production on social media only. Let's keep our eyes on Parliament and be sure to be with us. 9 p.m. on Tuesday, we'll bring you everything and tell you everything. Let's see what happens. We think it's a good advertisement for Ghana's democracy. Have a good day.